Facing South Florida's Jim DeFede is joining us now. And Jim, such an unprecedented time, a primary in the middle of a pandemic. Let's talk about turnout. Did COVID-19 impact turnout today?
Absolutely not. I mean, we are seeing amazing numbers. Let's just take a deep dive into Dade County for a second. You know, you're expected in Dade County to have about a 26% voter turnout. 4 years ago in this primary election, it was at 20%. Go back to Barack Obama's primary election in 2008, 13%. So that level of excitement suggests that you're going to see a massive, massive turnout in November. And I just want to give you one other number. There were 130,000 mail-in ballots 4 years ago. There's going to be more than 260,000 mail-in ballots in Dade alone, you know, this time around, more than double the number. People want to vote by mail. As much as the president has tried to knock it across the country, people are opting for this. It's going to be a deciding factor. And the last number I'll give you about this, 80% of the vote is going to come in early voting and mail-in voting. Day of voting is probably only going to comprise 20% of the actual vote. We've never seen percentages like that.
All right, Jim, let's take a look at Broward. What are your thoughts on some of the key races there?
Well, look, the main race, of course, is the sheriff's race. You know, Scott Israel thrown out of office after, you know, the performance that he had with the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, with the airport shooting, that disastrous, you know, appearance that he had on CNN's town hall, you know, led to a lot of consternation about his, you know, Governor Ron DeSantis ended up throwing him out of office. You know, now he's trying to reclaim the mantle. Gregory Toney has had his own battles in terms of people digging up stuff from his past, including the shooting that Joan referred to. That is certainly a very hot race. This is not one that's going to a runoff. You understand, whoever gets the most votes out of those three men who are running will be likely the next sheriff, because Democrats automatically win in Broward. And I will just point out one other race in Broward that's fascinating to me is the race for state attorney. Michael Satz, the current state attorney, was first elected in 1976 when Jimmy Carter was elected president. He has been in office ever since. He is retiring, and we're going to see a new Democrat rise up to be the state attorney. You have a lot of different characters running in that race, including some reform-minded folks, you know, who want to change that office around. And what I mentioned, Howard Finkelstein, the longtime Broward public defender, is retiring. You'll have a new public defender, so a lot of changes in Broward.
Yeah, big changes there. Let's talk about Miami-Dade County and the race for mayor. We fully expect a runoff, right, Jim?
Absolutely. We don't know who among the three top candidates it's going to be. You've got Esteban Bovo, you've got Alex Pinellas, you got Levine Cava. The turnout would suggest that Levine Cava is in a good position to make the runoff, because what we're seeing is lots of Democrats are voting, lots of higher than average Democratic turnout in this primary election, and that would favor Danielle Levine Cava, who is running as a progressive. The question is for Esteban Bovo, who's marketed himself as a Republican, are there enough Republican votes out there to get him to the runoff over Alex Pinellas? That's one that we're going to see. And we're also going to see a lot of county commission changes, because the county commission, because the term limits finally kicking in, a lot of county commissioners are leaving. We're going to see a new county commission this year as well.
Okay, Jim, thanks a lot. Remember, polls close in less than 2 hours. For everything you need to know before you vote, you can visit us online at cbsmiami.com/campaign2020.